G'day, I'm Wendy and this is Virtual Nature. We're here today at Victoria Park Nature Reserve, which is just near Alstonville in northern New South Wales. We'll be looking for paddy melons and birds and to see what else we can find. It's a beautiful remnant of the Big Scrub Rainforest that was actually covered this area, about 75,000 hectares of it in fact, before white man got here. And then white man came and logged it and cleared it for farming, and now there's only 1% of that original rainforest left, and this is part of this 1%. One of the reasons that this particular forest was preserved was that there was a couple of big fig trees in here, and one of these fig trees was so big that Captain Cook saw it when he came up the east coast in 1770. So this is one of the reasons that this nature reserve has been preserved. Unfortunately, that big tree got hit by lightning during a cyclone in 1974, so that's no longer here. There is another big tree here that I'll show you, and by all accounts that's only a third of the size of the big one that was here, so when you see it you'll just be amazed. So let's go and find some paddy melons. And just a reminder that this is a national park. There are no domestic animals allowed here. There is also no camping. And there is no bins, so please take any rubbish out with you. So this nature reserve isn't very big. It's only 18 acres. And we'll be walking around on this boardwalk that goes all the way through. So paddy melon's a pretty weird word. It is an indigenous word, but it's not from the language that's here, which is Bundjalung. The Bundjalung word for paddy melon is actually Bundoon.
So, we're about to start the walk, and what we need to do is be as quiet as we can. If we want to see the paddy melons, they're very, very shy, and we need them to be near the boardwalk as we're walking around. So, we'll have to be super quiet and then hope we can find some.
We'll be walking around on this wonderful boardwalk that goes around this loop, and it is wheelchair accessible.
The paddy melons have great camouflage in this habitat. Can you see the one here? Paddy melons are in the same family as kangaroos and wallabies, but they are not in the same genus. They're in their own genus called Thylogale. And there's 3 species of paddy melon in Australia. In this forest we have the red-legged paddy melons. In this area we also have red-necked paddy melons. And in Tasmania they have the Rufus bellied paddy melon. They mostly eat rainforest fruits and berries and leaves, but if there's any grass around they'll eat that too. Other mammals we see in the Victoria Park during the day are echidnas, which are one of the only 2 egg-laying mammals in the world. They're quite extraordinary. We don't see them all the time, but when we do it's a real treat. The other mammals that are here are mostly nocturnal, so you have to come back at night to see them. We also sometimes see reptiles like this huge lace monitor. These guys can grow up to about 2 meters long, but not as big as their cousins, the Komodo dragons. And of course we see loads and loads and loads of birds.
Strangler Fig. It produces a fruit like this. This is its fruit. And a bird or a bat will eat this and then whoop it right up the top of the tree. Then the Strangler Fig will come down from the host tree and then send these big roots down to the ground and then slowly take over the host tree. So these big old trees are usually hollow on the inside where the host tree once was, but they do provide a lot of wonderful food and shelter for local animals. So this particular fig tree I call the little one because it's only about a third of the size of the one that was here that Captain Cook saw in 1770, and I think that's one of the reasons that this nature reserve has been preserved, was because of these big fig trees. So this big beautiful tree is actually a red cedar. It was this tree that the first white settlers came to this region to log. It was referred to as red gold. It was a highly valued timber, but they basically logged it out of the whole area. So one of the significant trees around here is the black bean tree, and this is actually a black bean here. We can't see the seed pods at the moment, but their seed pods are huge, and when they drop from trees they're a bit like hand grenades falling. So you have to be really careful. You can see some of these big beautiful trees reaching for the sunlight in the canopy. So we have to be careful of this vine when we're walking around in the rainforest. This is called a lawyer vine. In Queensland they call it a white wire. And you can see it gets caught on you and it won't let go, hence the name lawyer vine.
So that's about it. Victoria Park is a wonderful place for wildlife. So please, please, please be very quiet while you're there, and please leave your dogs at home. We go to Victoria Park.
We're visiting
as part of our
the Victoria Park Nature
Safari.
Reserve,
Like
which is near Alstonville in New South Wales.
Put in the promo code.
It's one of my favourite places to go and find Paddy Melons.
You'll get a special discount.